Hey everyone, good evening. We are the Gratitude Girls.
The Gratitude Girls are in the house and we're in nature. Hi, Lori. How are you?
Hi, Catherine.
Well, keep your eye on the bouncing Gratitude Girls. It's so nice to see you. And look at you in the middle of the forest.
Yes, it's still a little bit starting to get dusk, so I might get darker as we go on with the show.
Okay, well, we'll keep our eye on the time. I want to just announce where I'm speaking to you from tonight. I'm in Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, Canada, while my partner is in the forest. What part of the world are you in, Lori?
I am in the Smoky Mountains in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Nice. What brought you there?
Actually, my husband's middle son and his wife wanted to do a vacation this week. So we decided to join them. And so they are staying at another cabin. They stayed with us the first day and a half. And we went to Dollywood together as a family and out to dinner. And then they went to the other cabin to do some things with their 13-year-old son a little bit. And then we're meeting back up tomorrow night.
That's lovely. It's nice that we can have all the things in our life that we want and still come here and do our Gratitude Girls coaching and training. So let's look right into that. Thank you for being here to our guests. Thank you to our members, to our clients, and to our friends that are adding gratitude to your life. Tonight, we'd like to give you a few tips, pointers. We'd like to talk about a few things that you can do to encourage, I don't know, positive gratitude. Lori, what do you think?
Yes, absolutely. And have happiness, attract happiness into your life. Do it
All
on
right.
purpose, use it, but attract it too.
All right. So it's not by accident that this happens. You want to think about it. You want to have an agenda, so to speak, in your day so that you can have a happier life. Whatever is going on in your life, know that it can always make room for happiness. So we'll give you some points. If you're taking notes, we're going to number them. We'll number them 1 to 12. And maybe we'll put them all in the chat in underneath this video once we're done. So number 1, express gratitude. How about I make the point and then you talk a little bit about it, Lori? Would that make sense?
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
So how can we express gratitude?
Yes. So one way, of course, is what we teach and train on is have your gratitude journal. So write things down. 5 things every night before you go to bed. Write 5 things that happened to you that day, or whether they happened to you or that you noticed. It could be that you noticed the pretty birds singing outside the window, right? So 5 things, but write them specific and in detail of what happened that day or something that went on that day. So that way, because most of us, we're always thankful, for our spouse or our partner, our home, our car, and you should be thankful for those, absolutely. But you also need to be thankful for the specific things. And when you specify them, then you attract more things to be grateful for that you can specify later on also.
Right, in detail. So in case you are worried about something, know that the more you focus on it, the more it might happen. So if you look at the bright side, if you look at what is happening that is really exciting you, that you'll get more of that. Okay, point number 2, use your strengths. Now, that doesn't mean flex your muscles, although if it is your strength, you can. And Lori, can you want to speak to us a little bit about using our strengths?
Yeah, like thinking about, your natural talents that God gave you that you can pull in to uplift you, to help you as well as help others. So think about ways that you help other people. Those are your strengths, like like I was good with kids, and so of course I had 5. But I also ran a Christian daycare in my home when my children were small. And because I loved kids, I loved babies, and then I worked in our church nursery because people would say that, babies come to me, they'd be crying and they would come to me and they'd be happy. And and I still keep, like, I kept my niece when she was little. Now I keep her son, my great nephew, once a week for her to work and help her out. And it's just such a joy. So, but think of the different strengths you have. Some people, their strengths is organizing houses or cleaning houses, so then you can use those to help teach and coach and maybe even make a business out of it too, but help other people. So you find your strengths in order to help yourself, but as well as help other people.
Right. Think about the go-giver, right? Using your talents and doing things for others because it comes naturally without thinking about getting something for it. And in terms of the word strength, if your strength is a physical strength, let's not overlook that. By all means, use it. So use your strengths, know what they are, identify them, and you can speak to us about a few different ways if you want to know how to identify your strengths. Let's go to point number 3. Live with purpose. What do you think, Lori? You want to speak about that first?
Yes, absolutely. So purpose, like, what is the meaning in your life? Like, what's your why? Why are you here? Why shouldn't you be taken out of this world, right? So why are you here, and what is the meaning for you being here? And the same thing, helping other people or even helping yourself, right? But identifying your life purpose and take steps forward to bringing that into a reality of the same thing, what you love or your strengths, what you're good at.
Think about this. It's very introspective. Bring together 2 or 3 pillars of happiness. If you're looking for that, if you want to know a how to, if you're wondering, like, how do I find my purpose? If perhaps at this moment you're just lost at this second that we're talking about it, then speak to us about it. And if you have your purpose and you know what it is, put that in the chat, share it with us tonight, because some others who are looking for their purpose might resonate. It might resonate with them. So you can help others right now by just sharing what your live with purpose is. Okay, let's talk about find your power.
Yes. So find your power, your strength in order to move on, right? So a lot of times we make goals, but then stuff happens in life, right? Obstacles come and get thrown your way, or big rock obstacles in the road, and you have to figure out a way to go over that rock or go around it, right? You have to pivot, you have to make changes. A lot of us in this world had to make changes when COVID hit, right? And in your work or in your goals. So the same things, there's always going to be things that are going to come up in life that are going to throw you, that are going to catch you, that are going to become obstacles. So you have to figure out how you can move past those and move forward. Or like they say, if you're going to fall, make sure you fall forward, right? And then pull up your bootstraps and get back going.
Right.
And one of the sayings, like in Tennessee, we say, suck it up, buttercup, right? So you just get up and you need to get moving.
We say that here too, Lori. Make a positive change, like, for sure, find your power. If you need to make a change, make it positive. And as we were talking about before, let's talk about getting physical. How does this work?
Yeah, they say that when you exercise, even anything, even doing a simple going for a walk, it like produces those endorphins, those happy hormones. And it's going to help you. It can keep you from getting depressed. And so, even especially like with COVID and people not being able to go out, my husband and I would just go out for a walk around the yard. We would literally right in our yard, we would just walk around it. And sometimes we would go out, drive somewhere, and then just walk around the block. And so the same thing, we weren't getting around other people, but we would just go out for a walk. But even just that is going to help you. But then especially if you can go out for a run, which I don't really run. If I run, I'm running from a bear or something. So but or do some exercises, yoga. my husband and I started some yoga, and that is so much fun to do together. So anything that you can do to be physical is going to help you health wise, but it's also going to help you emotional wise.
Good point. Yes, I'm just starting the reformer with yoga this week. It's funny how we start things without even discussing it and how we put it together. I love how that works. All right, let's do number 6 and 7. 6, the happiness diet. Oh, let's talk about food and mood.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Have you ever paid attention really to what you eat, and not just so much for a diet, but how you feel afterwards, like your emotional state? So when you eat a lot of sugar, your emotional state, like you might get really happy for a while, but then you have a crash. And so, it affects different people different ways. But if you really pay attention to it, a lot of times your food is going to influence your mood. And so, really paying attention to that is going to not only help you to stay in shape fitness wise, but also stay in shape emotional wise.
Yes. And think about, but is it true? You are what you eat? Think about that saying is what I was going to start with. Okay, let's talk about learning optimism. Okay, are you in a good mood today? How do you look at things? Do you look at the bright side? Let's explain what optimism is.
Yeah. So, like optimism, thinking of the glass half full, right? Instead of half empty. So, pessimism is thinking the negative all the time. Everything's black or white. Where I like put the bright yellow and the bright red and the bright hot pink in all that black and white. And so I'm definitely very optimistic. I'm the half full person. I'm finding something to find positive out of a situation. And but a lot of times, our human nature is honestly to think negatively. So you have to on purpose push those positivity thoughts, because you need to think about it and reframe your thoughts. If you
Mm.
do have that, we all, nobody's perfect, right? We all have some negativity that comes into our head. And especially when things happen to us or around us, that's easier to fall into that negative state. But you have to find ways to pull yourself back out and get that positivity back.
And that just brings us right to number 8 and 9. 8, bounce back ability. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, exactly. That's same thing. Stuff is going to happen no matter what. So, adversity, like they say, turning a minus into a plus. You know, um, I had my kid's dad, my husband of 20 years, was killed in a tragic car wreck at 41. That was adversity. That was tragedy. And that was a lot of negativity and fast. But you still have to feel all those emotions, right? So we're not saying like forget those emotions and not feel it. You do have to go through the process. But the thing is, you don't stay there. You bounce back, you pull yourself up, you think of bright sides. I remember, I had met a lady, another widow, not long after mine, that her husband had a car wreck. They had 7 kids, and 4 of those kids were in the car with their dad and passed away also. So I had like a really big smack in the face. That was one of the, when I met her, was one of the moments that I was in the oh woe is me, feel sorry for myself stage. And I met her and I thought, oh my goodness, I need to be so thankful that none of my kids were in the vehicle with him when he did get in that wreck.
So bouncing back, you never really know what you're going to be bouncing back from. So it's good to exercise that and to look at the bright side and to learn to be optimistic. Let's talk about something that we're pretty good at this, improving relationships. No man is an island. You want to give us a little bit of a insight on that?
Yes, exactly. Have good relationships, develop good and close relationships. I have relationships with people all over the world, and some I've never met. I met one girl 2 years ago that I've been friends with for over 25 years. And because we had something that went together, both our husbands were police officers at one time. And so we met through that way online, back in the old days with Yahoo groups. and but we kept in touch. We just connected really well. We built that relationship through texting and online, through the mail. And we actually met in person when I was speaking at an event in Dallas, Texas, and that's where she lives just a couple years ago. And so, but still, no matter what, you want to nurture your relationships of all your friends and family, but as well as your customers and clients, but build your sphere, because when things do go bad, you want those people to
Mm,
hug on you, even if it's only virtual, right? Or even if they're only texting you or whatever, calling you,
mhm.
you want to nurture those relationships.
Right, because you can be the hug for someone else when you least even understand it. You might be there just developing that relationship, improving it, and it's exactly what that other person needs. Let's talk about 10 and 11, spiritual happiness. What does that mean?
Yes, spiritual happiness. So, of course, lots of people have different ideas of this. It could be getting closer to God, being in church. It could be your, mindfulness meditation. It could be, where you feel closer to the earth. I love, I'm grown up in Texas and Tennessee. I love to feel closer to the earth, even though I'm very religious and spiritual in that way too. But I love walking outside barefoot and feeling close to the earth also. And so you can have a mixture, or you can be one way or the other. It's whatever works for you, but we all have a spirit inside of us. And when you work on feeding that spirit, and like there's that saying, which wolf, you have a wolf on each shoulder, which wolf will you feed? Which one will empower you the most? It's the one that you feed the most. So if you feed the negative one the most, that's what's going to fill your spiritual. If you feed the positive one the most, that's the one that's going to feed your spiritual, right? So you just want to work on that whole inner being of being happy and positive.
They say, imagine 8 weeks of mindful meditation, for instance. It can lead to greater activity in the left prefrontal cortex, the seat of positive emotions in the brain. If you want the best seat in the house, know that it's the left prefrontal cortex, and that's the seat that you want to pay attention to. Okay, number 11 and 12. So let's talk about rest and renewal. This is important. In case you're not resonating with the word rest and renewal, we're going to encourage you, we invite you to take a look at this and add this into your lifestyle. How do we do it, Lori?
Yes, absolutely. Taking a break. For many years, especially after, my kid's dad passed away and my children were growing up. So it was just me, and I love what I do. So I was like, why not work? And I was literally working about 100 hours a week and going, 100 miles an hour. I was speaking at different speaking engagements, 3 to 4, sometimes even 5 a month. And I was going from literally from like 7 in the morning till midnight every day. And I was very hard to turn off. And with that, when I laid my head down at night, sometimes I would crash because I was so tired, but sometimes I couldn't turn my brain off. And so I learned to start stopping. And so I started with cutting back a few hours. I would take a vacation with my kids. We started doing a vacation once a year together, and I would turn my phone off, or I would at least not answer. I wouldn't look at my phone for hours. I wouldn't answer any text that wasn't personal. And I also started putting my phone away at night. So the same thing. I don't get any texts in the middle of the night or whatever. Where I used to think, oh, I have to always answer right away. So I would start, and I started scheduling, like, I only check my emails once a day. I only get on social media once or twice a day. So I started doing different things to, detach myself so I could rest, not only my mind, but my body as well.
Right. I definitely am a subscriber to self-care. So when you talked about yoga earlier and exercise and talking about this reformer class, what I think is important to do is to honor ourselves and to think about self-care, because rest and renewal has a lot to do with how we take care and respect our own bodies and our own minds. So we could be in a zone. It could be a day, a week, a month. It could be 5 years. We could just be in one of those zones where that's what we're doing. If we know that there's a point in each day or week or month that we've scheduled a massage, a reflexology, a facial, a manicure, pedicure, if we build that into our schedule, we know that we're going to be doing that. So maybe it sounds counterintuitive to plan your rest and renewal, but if you plan that self-care, you plan that time, you won't be looking for it. You won't be searching. I'm so tired. I don't know what I'm doing. It's there. You and I, Lori, are very good at this. We have times that we are doing things that are non-negotiable. It's not to say you can't reach me on this day at this time. It's not to do that. It's to fulfill our obligations and our commitments, do what we love what we do, and remember to take care of ourselves. So we invite you to talk to us about that. If you have a specific tip that you'd like to share, please post that in the comments in the video. Let us know what you do for rest and renewal. Here's number 12, and then we'll talk a little bit about some ways that you can get with us. The fun factor. This is the best one. 12 is like, yay. Okay, tell us how we do this. How do we do and add the fun factor?
Yes, think of what makes you happy. Think of what you would do, no matter if you could have all the time in the world. Think about what you would do for fun and happiness, and start fitting that in. And so one of my favorite things to do is travel. And especially here out in Gatlinburg and the mountains, that's one of my favorite places. The beach is another one, but the mountains is close for us. It's only like a 5-hour drive. And so it is so wonderful. And I love it out here. And so we come at least once a year. Even last year during COVID, everything was shut down and we couldn't go anywhere, but we got to go to look at 4 different walls for a little while. But think of the things that you love to do and then start scheduling them. Yesterday we went to Dollywood with his son and wife and her child, and we got to go walk around and see them have fun, which is one thing that he and I love to do. Is we love to see our children happy and our children have fun, and then we get to be a part of it. So a couple weeks ago, we went also with my son and his wife to Florida, to the beach, which is another fun place for me, but it was also to take them on vacation and let them have a fun time. So think of the different things that you love to do and that you love to have fun with, and then start scheduling them. Put them on your calendar, because if it's not on your calendar, it's probably not going to happen. So start scheduling them.
We were just talking about that. I didn't mean to interrupt you. We were just talking about that before we went live. We're talking about that's date night. This is when we do this. This is when we're available for that. This is how our schedule goes. So the things that are fun in your life, you do them and you make sure you do them. You don't say, well, I'll just use this as an example. I missed date night because I was so busy. If it's fun and it's important, you're not going to miss it. You don't want to miss it. If it's part of your self-care, if it's part of your spiritual routine, there's no reason to exempt something from a well-rounded plan. We understand life gets in the way. and we know that things come up, and we know that there are shiny pennies. But we'd love to talk to you a little bit more about the positivity of psychology and how to be happy. And we'd like to be able to talk to you a little bit through some of our coaching. You can speak to us. You can look at some of the things that we've posted before. But maybe, Lori, since you're able to, if you have a few minutes, and then I'll jump in after, we'll talk a little bit about, we're speaking to a couple of thousand people at this moment. So some people may not know like why we're here, what are we doing? And I'd like to just identify a little bit that we're here as a coaching team, and that people can get a little bit more of us, because we're not going to stay on here too much longer, and you might have questions and you might want to go a little bit deeper. So can you share how people get with us?
Yes, absolutely. If you do have any questions, you can always post them right below this video. You can also, like Catherine has said through the video, you can post any comments. If you have any great feedback to add that we didn't say, definitely post them below and help other people too. But you can also go to Gratitude Girl or facebook.com/Gratitude Girls. There you can click message, send us a private message. And also we do have our private dining room for our private coaching clients. So if you want to know more about that, go to gratitudegirls.com/coaching. You can see the information about our private coaching group. So it's a smaller group of people, and we invite you to our private dining room every Monday night right after this call. And then we also have private one-on-one coaching too. So if you want a little bit more one-on-one, but it's technically two-on-one because you get two coaches for the price of one. So how's that, right? Everybody, especially girls, right, love great coupons. We love sales, right? So this is like a best sale, 2 for 1. But
I love the way you said that. And you know what's interesting, as you're talking, I'm going over our schedule. So we happen to have availability on Monday, the 23rd. So if you're looking at your schedule while we're speaking to you right now, then send us a message, and we will be posting a link during the week where you can actually directly book with us. But right now you can talk to us about Monday, the 23rd. That's our next available opening. So we have availability in our schedule, and we have some standard times. So Monday nights at 9 o'clock, you can come into our private dining room. We'd love to see you there. And if you have a more sensitive subject or something that you really just want to have between Lori and I, then we'll be happy to organize that with you.
yes, awesome. And so once again, go to facebook.com/Gratitude Girls. Make sure you like our page and add us to your notifications so you get all this free training every single Monday night. And then go to gratitudegirls.com/coaching and see all about our different kinds of coaching there. We have a try us on for size because girls love to try on clothes, right? So we can try on the Gratitude Girls for size. You can also get the great sale of the 2 for 1 private coaching, and then you can join our coaching group as well.
And one thing I wanted to mention, Lori, I really have been getting some feedback, so I wanted to mention it. We can customize what you want. So you're not going to jump into nothing wrong with programs, but we're going to customize your program for you. So you can create it as you're going along with us. Lori and I really, we are very attracted to the word freedom. And if you are attracted to the word freedom, and if you like to have freedom to be and to do and to think, then you're in alignment with us. So we'll tell you a little bit more about how we incorporate freedom into our life and how we incorporate it into our coaching. Lori, it's 9 o'clock. I'm keeping my eye on the time for us.
Yes, perfect. So thank you everyone for joining us. And yes, I'll add one more thing to that. So yes, so like a lot of coaches, and nothing against anyone else, or if you're doing other coaching too, the gratitude coaching can go along with it. But Catherine and I are also both business coaches as well as life coaches. We've been doing it for over 20 years each. So we can help you in a lot of different ways. But that's it. Neither one of us do a program where, okay, you signed up, you pay $500 or a couple $1,000, and it's this, and this, and we've already got it lined up and set up for you, because every person and every business is different. So we customize it for you. So that is one huge thing that sets us apart. So we will see you next week, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Have a great week.